Where is the chat box? I have no idea where the chat box is. Fan settings. Where the hell is the chat box? Why can't I see it? Yeah, I see that I'm live. Now, where is the chat box? Kevin, what's up, man? Trying to figure out this live situation here. I don't know where my chat box is. And I'm having a hard time figuring it out. It's supposed to just pop up. I don't understand why it didn't. Scene collection. Oh. Alright, looks like I'm Googling it. Go to YouTube channel. The icon is in the top right corner. Once your Twitter account is linked, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, how do you add it? Stream setup settings? What a joke. What is this? Stream setup. Docs. Oh, YouTube Live control panel. Okay, now where are the where's the thing? Oh my god. Okay. I think I got it. Super confusing. All right, well, hope everyone's having a good day. Happy Father's Day to anybody celebrating Father's Day if you're a father. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in this, but I'm going to be watching it because I think it's interesting. Politics aside, I like Logan Paul. I know he has a lot of controversy, and I think it's going to be interesting to watch. So I'm going to watch it. All right.
How's your brother? Good?
Yeah, he's excellent.
You have a good relationship with him, right?
With Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do now. But it's not always been like that.
It's always been, yeah, I can imagine.
This is
Rocky,
my
but
brother.
it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's
Taylor
good.
Tyson, we got.
Yeah, right?
Who you got?
When is that gonna be?
November. It got rescheduled.
Well, look, Mike was fantastic, but, you know, Mike's a little older now.
Yeah.
And you guys can fight.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but you guys can really fight, legitimately fight.
Thank you, sir.
At first I said, it's so amazing because I always thought like a UFC guy or a top, even contender would be able to win at 75 years old.
You think?
But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
The clock is still the clock.
Yeah. I figured that out with Floyd as well.
Yeah, how about that, right?
I don't know.
It was even.
Yeah, which
You would
shouldn't
have
make.
thought he would have won that fight.
That's what I thought.
That was your
Yeah.
baby.
Some
right?
people still think he did win
Just
that
for you
fight.
guys.
Oh, no way. We got gifts.
Sell for a lot of money this thing.
Oh, no way. Oh, thank you, President.
He split it up. Here's
Oh, amazing.
something for you. This is
Is this your mugshot?
this is can you believe it?
You're a gangster.
This is what we're
God.
reduced to. Isn't that
No
crazy?
way.
Should we put him on now?
Yeah,
That's
isn't it crazy?
It's absolutely ridiculous. He
amazing.
has
It
a
sells.
mugshot
Well, Elvis
T-shirt.
had one. Frank Sinatra had one.
This
And
shirt.
what's even more ridiculous is that it's actually working.
A long time ago, we became saying,
This is crazy.
it's pretty cool. Isn't it cool?
I have to be honest, I'm
It's
jealous.
actually, I'm not sure if I love it or not, but
No, it's
it
good.
is what it is.
It happened and might as well monetize it.
Well, Mr. President, people surely love it. They love the picture. They rallied behind it. They're rallying behind you now.
Well, they
More
are.
than ever.
And we had the biggest fundraising, I think, ever for any candidate ever anywhere in the world in the last 8 or 9 days. In hundreds of millions of dollars. And too bad it couldn't have been done for other reasons, but they viewed the cases being so corrupt and so ridiculous. Every one of the legal pundits, and they're great guys. When you look at Dershowitz, the whole group, that whole group of people, Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, Greg Jarrett, every one of them, they came out and they said, there's not even a case here. There's no case. And when they saw the jury instructions, when they saw all the things that happened, and it's not like anybody's a friend of mine. Mark Levin is an example. They couldn't believe it. So unfair. It's a very unfair thing. And because of that, the fundraising numbers and the polls, but the fundraising, that's sort of like a poll anyway, right? When you get right down to it. But the fundraising numbers went, I don't think there's ever been that much money raised that quickly.
You've become a martyr of
Hundreds of
sorts.
millions of
Yeah, it's
dollars.
insane. $140 million in May that you raised.
Just
35 million in just hours after the verdict.
Yeah, 58 million within a few hours, and that was in small donations, like $71 something average. And over a period of a week, we even went to San Francisco. Now, not supposed to be. That's the belly of the beast, right?
Rare
Supposedly.
visit.
But they had thousands of people on the street. It was so positive, and they raised $12 million. The tech guys at one of the houses, David, fantastic people. And they were like, they gave me a lot of money. They've never been.
Sean,
into that.
I am
And I
too.
think it helps that Biden
I'm-
is just so
I'm
bad.
not-
He
I'm
is
not-
So bad. He is the worst president.
I'm not political. Like, I'm not a hardcore lefty or righty. For all my life, I was independent. But I just think it's interesting, especially like I don't watch all the Trump interviews, but the fact that Trump is being interviewed by Logan Paul is like, how can you not be interested in it? That's my take on it. It's just that this is like just an influencer that's interviewing the ex-president, potentially the future president of the United States. And he starts off with giving a mugshot T-shirts. Like, it's just so interesting to watch. I can't not watch it. I really can't. And it came out 2 days ago. I actually like his podcast, Logan Paul's podcast. he has a lot of interesting people on his podcast, and I just think it's something that's super interesting to watch. I mean, I understand people get all like butthurt about politics, but at the same time, it's like this is our country. Things are really bad, and we have to at least like stay up with what's happening in the world. And how can you not at least like hear the guy out, hear the other person out, hear both sides and what their policies are going to be, so you can be more informed. Otherwise, like, what are you going to do? You're just going to be voting blindly? Yeah, yeah. Is 100% smart. The thing is like you can hate the guy as much as you want, right? Like you can hate the way he talks, you can hate the way that he talks to people, whatever. But you can't take away the fact that the guy is super smart. He has so many smart people on his team. Everything they do is just so systematic, and it's working. It's 100% working. When he got all those felonies, he actually went up like 30%. Like, people are now realizing he has more convictions than Al Capone and, like, all these huge, like, criminals in the past. Trump, how does he have... Al Capone had 27. He has 34. How is that even, like, fair at all? Regardless of who the person is, how can he be worse than Al Capone? And people are starting to realize it. If you don't want to listen and educate yourself, why are you even breathing? It's 100%. I mean, people are, people are just trying. I think the phrase of like out of sight, out of mind is really kind of describing what's happening in the United States right now. I think people are so far removed that they can't even just put their feelings aside and realize what's better for our country right now. And I don't agree with it. So,
President in the history of our country. So that helps too.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
I actually wanted to start there.
Go ahead.
Because one thing that I just can't seem to wrap my head around it is, you know, you got these felony convictions and a lot of it, like more than Al Capone, right? And
Yeah,
there was an uprising.
exactly.
People showed you their support with their donations, and a lot of people are saying it points out that actually the unjust nature of America's justice system.
listen,
So,
if people
question is, like-
get pissed off that I'm watching a Logan Paul interview, that's okay with me, Roger. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, this is entertainment for me. I'm not condoning Trump. I'm not promoting him in any fashion. This is just me watching. It's Father's Day and my AC's broken in my car and I can't go and dash. So I'm sitting here watching stuff on the internet and I just went live. That's why I said in the description, if you want to come watch, come watch. But it's not a big deal if you don't want to watch. If people get butt hurt that I'm watching an interview just because somebody's on it, I mean, it's okay. If they want to unsubscribe, they can unsubscribe. It's not the end of the world to me, honestly.
if that is your belief, if that is their belief, why do you have the desire to give your time and energy to a country or a system that's trying to take you down?
So I ran twice. I did much better the second time than the first time. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have done this. But we had it going like this country has never been going before. It was really good. Now it's really bad. The worst border in history, the worst inflation, I think, in history. I think the history of the country, the people are getting decimated by it. All very all something you can fix. You can fix it fast. We were energy independent. We're going to be energy dominant very soon. All these things were happening. And then we had a terrible result in an election. And what happened was disgraceful, and we can't ever let it happen again. But we have a little expression, it's right on that hat, make America great again. And we can do that, make America great again. And this guy's not going to do it. This guy's destroyed our country. When you allow 15, 16, 17, they have no idea what the gotaways. Million people coming out of jails, coming out of mental institutions, insane asylum. The insane asylums all over the world, the mental institutions, they're at the lowest levels. They've been at it for years. They're going to be totally empty. and you have terrorists coming into our country. We're going to be paying a big price, and we're going to solve the problem, and we're going to solve it relatively quickly. But we have other problems too, with energy, with inflation. He's been a disaster as a president. He's the worst president we've ever had. The good news is he makes Jimmy Carter look brilliant by comparison. So Jimmy Carter's the only one that's happy with this.
Well, look, I think that's why a lot of people are so obsessed with you, Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump. Well, because
yet.
you're already a
Ex-president.
billionaire, right? You are essentially serving these people, and you don't have to be doing it. The president,
No.
being the president, seems like a very hard job. You were at 3 meetings just before this, but I guess I'm asking, like, the desire to run and attempt to improve your country for these things you're saying.
Yeah.
Becomes from what? Just the love of the
Well,
country?
the people, I'll tell you, when you look at the people, when you look at the crowds, I did a rally in New Jersey. We had 107,000 people there. You saw that last week. We did one in the Bronx. We had 25,000 people. And this was in the South Bronx, which is known as a rough area. And it was like a love fest. There was not even nobody even raised a voice of dissent. The whole place, it was like a big love fest. Nobody could believe it. You saw that 3-4 weeks ago. There's our country has tremendous potential, but it's going down the tubes very, very rapidly. Nobody has ever seen anything like it, the way it's being run. So bad. And we can change it. We can change it quickly. We have a debate coming up. That'll be interesting.
I don't know if
June
we can change it
27th,
quickly,
Yeah.
but-
hosted by one of your favorite television networks, CNN.
Well, they gave me the option. They said, would you do it? And they didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. So they gave me everything. Fake Tapper and lots of other people that were going to, were involved. On CNN, they wanted it to be seated, which I didn't like. I said we should stand, and I think we won that point. But I would have agreed to whatever I had to agree to because they didn't want to do it. They thought that I wouldn't do it because it's CNN, but I've done plenty of CNN. I did a town hall not so long ago with CNN that worked out well. But I think they'll be fair. I think they're going to try and be fair. I mean, as fair as they can be. But I think it's important for there to be a debate. So they said, "You want to debate?" Yep, I'll accept. You don't even have to tell me. Then they said,
I mean,
CNN.
I'm
They said,
definitely going to watch the debate.
the different people that
That's
are
pure
involved. But,
entertainment.
let's see what
Like,
happens. I used to get
honestly.
along with Jake Tapper. We'll see what happens. But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it is.
That sentiment that CNN might be fair to you
They might be.
is a bit of a departure
I'd
from
say
your
a good
normal
10% chance.
from your normal hardline stance. Do you think that you're starting to come around or soften your views on some of the networks that you may have not gotten along with in the past?
No, they're fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
No, they're so bad. One of the good terms, right? Fake news. But no, I don't think so. I thought maybe, I had one with Caitlin Collins about 4 or 5 months ago. It was one of the highest rated shows they've ever had. And I really thought they were going to go maybe sort of in the middle. But I was wrong about, as I'm getting on and I'm hearing the way I'm being announced, they said, hey, these people are playing hardball. They're making a big mistake. But the ratings for this debate, I guess, will be quite good.
Massive. Are you
think
surprised by his decision
Yeah,
to
it's gonna have a lot of
face to face
ratings.
with you?
You mean the fact that they're willing to do it?
That Biden's
A
willing
little
to do
bit.
it.
They didn't want to do it. They thought I turned CNN down. Look, CNN is the enemy. And they thought I was going to turn CNN, and Tapper is,
Enemy is a strong word.
one of the guys that, when I'm making a speech, so they're waiting for the nomination for months and months. I got it in the quickest fashion. Nobody's ever gotten a nomination so quickly. And I'm making my nomination speech, and they refuse to put it. They're covering it for months and months. Now I'm actually making my speech. I mean, this is the big night. I won the nomination, and they refuse to put it on. These are people that don't like Trump. But it's okay, because I think it's important to have a debate, or a number of
No,
debates.
it's 100% important.
The fact that you are so vocal as well, especially on social media, I think works in your favor. And personally, I like that you come with receipts sometimes.
Yeah,
I've seen you pull them out of your,
No, I
your
understand.
jacket. Will you have receipts?
I like to do it.
Well, fact checking's fun.
Yeah, I know. We'll check. We're gonna check a lot of things. It's gonna be an interesting. You will be watching, right?
I'll be watching.
We just don't want to schedule it around one of your fights.
Please
because
don't.
not gonna
Please
watch
don't.
the
do pretty
debate.
well.
Thanks. I'll be watching. Yeah, I always see you at
So
UFC.
do you have? By the way, do you ever fight your brother?
That's the question.
You want to know something?
I want to know.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
because
right.
you are both good. Do you ever fight?
I'd love to see Logan fight Jake.
Not in real life.
You
no.
practiced a little bit.
Never.
With him, right?
We've never even sparred.
Really?
We don't know. I think
Well, did you beat him up your whole life?
I
growing
didn't.
up?
I punched him in the face once because he took my glasses. But I was willing to step in for Mike Tyson when Tyson got sick and had to postpone his fight. And we actually like ran it up the chain at Netflix.
It's hard for brothers to fight, though. I think it's hard.
Not on
I've seen it
Netflix
over
for a
the years,
big
you know.
old bag. Like,
Yeah, but
figure
there
it
have
out
been
once and
some,
for
though.
all.
I think it's. You don't think so? You love your brother.
Well, me and Jake decided that obviously, like, we both come from a place of love, and
Right.
whatever the outcome would be, we'd have to be okay with it. But obviously, I love
No,
my
but
brother.
the shots to the face and you know.
just one time though, for the rest of history. You know, that night goes down forever. The Klitschko brothers never did it.
No, they never did it, and they were both good, and they
Yeah.
never did it. They were very good, but in fact, nobody really figured out maybe who was better. They had some good fights. They were tough, right?
Yeah.
They
Well,
were tough.
Jake's tough and he's good, but I'm
He's-
1-0.
He's very good, and you're very good.
He had a street fight this past week against
Jake is
somebody
actually a
from
good fighter.
a squad
People
you
don't
may
give him
know
enough
as the
credit.
Nelk, from the
He's
Nelk
doing
Boys.
great things for boxing
Oh,
too.
right.
Yeah,
When you
what-
said you had it out with him?
An actual street fight.
No,
A
no,
fit-
but a friendly one or an unfriendly one?
Oh, it was pretty unfriendly.
Yeah,
I
it
was
not
there.
friendly.
I'll be watching both
I would
fights.
call it a
in
waiver
bit,
fight.
and
I had
They
a
have a
Southpaw,
great
not
following,
sure
though. They're nice
which
guys.
I'll-
We love him.
They have such a. You
Yeah.
do,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
I'm glad.
Who do you think's gonna win
Get
though?
myself into a
You
position.
think Tyson's
They
gonna
really
win?
are.
I feel
They
like
did,
Tyson's still got it in him.
Dana White is
In all
fantastic.
honesty,
For sure.
I really do.
He said, "Would you do the Nelk Boys?" I didn't know who they
It's
were.
pure
I
entertainment,
did
though.
it,
That's what
and
I'm saying. Is that
they have
like
a tremendous
just like
audience,
this
which you can
interview? It's
ferocious.
just
Right away.
entertainment.
I did Dr.
Like
Phil the
I don't
other day.
understand
I
how
saw
people
it.
can
Yeah,
get
he
so
makes it.
mad
We
at
love the
things
Nelk
like
Boys, by the way.
this.
The
It doesn't
Nelk
make
Boy
sense
we're
to
talking
me.
about is like it's kind of like
His
an
name's His name's Bradley Martin. He's a big fitness
Right.
guy because we know Kyle Forgard, Kyle, and John.
Did you know back in the day, like you're talking about like 90s, early 2000s, you could literally go and tell somebody who you're voting for, and it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem. People would just be like, "Oh, that's who you're voting for. I'm voting for this person." And you might actually have like a conversation about it and be like, "Oh, well, why are you voting? What do you why what do you see in this person? What are their policies?" Now it's like you mention the other person's name and you're chastised for the rest of your life. You lose friends, you lose jobs, you lose whatever it is. It's just like how Roger was saying, like even if I have this interview on my page, he's like, "Oh, people are going to, unsubscribe to you." Why? Like you can't just like America is the country where everyone has their opinions and you're allowed, it's freedom of speech. You're allowed to have your opinions. Why are you going to be persecuted for whatever opinion you have? I will accept whatever opinion from anybody anytime as long as you can articulate what you are saying and why you believe it. Then sure, let's have an adult conversation. Let's talk about it. It's an important topic. Why does it matter if this is playing or if I'm watching it? Why does it matter? It doesn't matter. You think it's going to be Jake? Love that. Love that. I'm from Texas and my parents are Dems. They didn't talk about who they were voting for. Yeah. No, I get it. I guess it's more like the 90s, not early 2000s. The 90s is when people, like during like the Bush era, Clinton era, things like that, the people were able to talk about who they're voting for. Yeah, you'd bring it up during like Thanksgiving and people would get like in arguments, but like you'd still be able to talk about it. Now it's like you bring up anything and it's like you're a bad word immediately. Yeah. No, I agree.
John Shahidi for
Right?
years now.
They're great.
Bradley's this big.
It's gonna be a great fight, though,
260-pound,
Tyson and Jake.
bodybuilder, and for years
It's gonna
he's
be
called
great.
people out. I'm 260. I'm 260.
Tyson's actually a huge fan of Jake. And I think that's what makes the fight even better is that Tyson has openly said that Jake has been a big reason why boxing is becoming more popular now. Because more so, even above the fact that boxing is fighting, boxing is entertainment. Boxing is where you go and you watch entertainment. It's not you're watching a fight. I understand it's a fight, but UFC is more like fighting. Boxing's more pure entertainment. And Jake Paul has done more for boxing in the last decade than anyone, I think, in history almost. And Mike Tyson has openly been like, I'm a huge fan of Jake. He's bringing money to the fighters where most fighters don't get paid a lot of money. So I'm a big Jake Paul fan. Did you see that Netflix special on Jake? It was I forgot what it was, but they like Untold Stories or something. If you haven't watched it, Untold Stories on Netflix, when they go over Jake Paul and like what he's done. Oh, it's so good. After I watched that, I became like the biggest Jake Paul fan. I was born in the 80s and agree they were nicer, but yeah. I saw his interview about Jake, so cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
60, I'll fight you, and got into it with Logan.
And
And
how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think you probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
It was off camera. You know, it was cool. It was like a duel, like a good old fashioned, just boys being boys, no cameras.
It was a real deal.
Yeah,
The
you
real
gotta check
deal.
it out.
And
did
No
you
rules.
see? Did you
Was he-
see that? What they're talking about right now too is that, so Bradley Martin, who's like a fitness influencer, he was talking like shit about Jake Paul and saying that like he's gonna get destroyed by Mike or something like that, and Logan was like, he messaged him. This is all online, and he messaged Bradley, and he's like, I want to fight you or whatever, and because like Bradley's been saying in like all of his podcasts, I want to fight Logan, and so then Logan actually said, let's do it. But they did it like behind closed doors, no cameras, no social media, and they like duked it out, like MMA style, no gloves. And apparently Logan kicked his ass, which is like super impressive because Bradley Martin's like 260 pounds, like huge bodybuilder, and you could just see they put like the aftermath on social media. And they showed both of them, and you could clearly see like the welts in Bradley's head, and like Bradley was like, you could just tell he was defeated, and that Logan was like glowing. So I think it's pretty cool that Logan actually defended his brother and like kicked Bradley's ass.
Finished.
He quit.
He did.
He quit. Yeah.
but we were very impressed with him actually.
He showed up.
He has no combat sports experience.
Yep.
Stepped up
So
to
he just
somebody.
had he had muscle, but not the. Not
Yeah.
the
Yep.
Just no training.
Yeah.
Just no training.
You ever been in a fist fight, Mr. President?
Probably not. I've been like little duels, nothing like. I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, I fought my way
Yeah, I
through
love when
school.
people
You know,
get
I
shut
went
down
through
like that.
I
Yeah.
fought my way out of the
was
Wharton
epic.
School of Finance. I fought my, but you know, we didn't have a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
We have fighters, but not that kind of fighters. But I've had a lot of fun. I'll tell you, we had a great time. Over the years, I've been very much involved with Mike Tyson. Mike is a great guy.
Yeah, Mike's a big fan of
My
Trump.
son, I have a beautiful boy, Barron, and he loves Mike Tyson.
Beautiful
Big boy. Big boy.
Huge.
He's a big boy, 6'9".
6'9".
6'9".
My
yeah.
PDF's at 6'7".
And I couldn't get him to play basketball. He plays soccer. He's a good athlete too. Good student.
Big
good
boy
athlete.
for soccer.
But he's 6'9".
It's insane.
Good-looking guy, but he is a tall one. There's no question. I say, Barron, I don't want to take a picture next to you. It's
Neither do we.
Crazy. We ought to make him a fighter, maybe.
No, I don't want.
Guys, it's 2024. We want to spend less and save more. That's just a fact. But how? How are we supposed to save when we're paying inflated price? The show.
We always see you at the UFC fights.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a fight fan.
I like it. I really enjoy it. I think Dana White is one of a kind.
For
He's
sure.
And he's been generous to me. He's made a great statement about me the other day.
I saw that.
That was a
Yeah,
nice
Dana
statement.
said
But
some
I've had
really
his
good
back.
things about him.
Well, I did, and rightfully. I think, the expression, everybody's replaceable, I'm not sure anybody could do. The job he does is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He gets, I met Khabib, who's
I saw that.
29-0, and his father died, and he just said, that's it for me. And, his father was great at what he did, and probably he never lost even a round. I think 29-0, they say he never lost a round, and I thought he was great. And we got to speak. He was just about my favorite guy.
Hello, friends. Big T here. Back in 2016, I told you to buy Bitcoin at 400.
All right.
And really talented. the Strickland was fantastic the other night. I thought he was
Great striker.
He was.
Everyone
oh,
wants to come out of the cage and meet you after they
They
win.
do.
And
Yeah,
when-
they
and when
do.
you-
I'm very honored by it. Every time they win, they jump out.
Yeah.
They jump out of that cage like
There's a
it's
pic from
nothing.
this
I don't know.
interview
It's
with
pretty
Trump
high, but
standing next to
they have no
Logan.
problem.
And when you
It's obviously
enter
shorter
the arena,
than
there's
his
an
reported height
eruption
is
of
supposedly,
cheers.
like,
Yeah.
2 inches
But I
taller.
remember, 'cause I've
Really?
been going to UFC for a while. Like it wasn't always like that. There was a very clear.
Wait. There's a pic from this interview with Trump sitting next to Logan, and is obviously shorter. Oh. You're saying because Trump? Yeah, Trump's a tall guy. Yeah. So Trump's a tall guy. I'm pretty sure Trump is. Let's look it up. All right. So Trump's 6'3". And Logan's 6'2". Yeah, you're right. So that's funny. That's Logan's really smart at advertising as well. I mean, both of these guys are like dynamos when it comes to like advertising themselves and stuff. I saw that picture too. I didn't even think about that though.
Like shift in the perception of you. Do you feel like you feel that now more than ever?
I don't know. You know, I've done it in Vegas, Miami. I do it with Dana. Dana wants me to do that, and I do
That's
it.
not
And
what he says
it
yeah.
is an eruption. He said like he's never heard before. They actually stopped a fight. One of the fighters were walking out, and there's a fight going on, and these guys are really going at it, and they heard this crazy sound, and they stopped the fight. They both stopped fighting. They're looking over what happened. They probably thought bad things were happening to the arena, but no, it's been great. And he is just somebody you have to really respect. I imagine you guys do, but he gets these fighters from all over the world, and they are some really talented people. And I have respect for fighters. When you can take 200 shots to the face and then look forward to the second round. Yes. It's interesting. A lot of wrestlers want to do the UFC thing, but they can't take the shots because they're wrestlers. I've been with a lot of them, and because at the White House we honor the national champion wrestlers and tennis players and sort of everything. We have these, but speaking to the wrestlers, some of them, there's somebody named Bo Nickel who I think is going to be great. He's a fighter.
Fantastic.
He was a All-American, I think probably 4 years. I'm not even sure. He went to Penn State, and he's phenomenal as a fighter, and you'll be watching him. But he doesn't mind. If he gets hit, he doesn't mind. Some people don't want that.
Speaking of conflict and fighting, since you left office, the number of global conflicts has skyrocketed. And I know
it's
Khabib
terrible.
talked to you about it quickly when you spoke with him. I think 2 weeks ago about President Biden authorized the use of American weapons in Russia, which has now led to a fleet of Russian warships coming towards Cuba this week. What are your thoughts and concerns around our current handling of our relationship with Russia?
Well,
Interesting question.
the Russian attack on Ukraine would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. It's just a shame. So many dead people. You look at just the soldiers. It's 500,000 soldiers between the both countries. But so many dead people, so many towns and
That's
villages
crazy.
and
I don't think
buildings
people
and
even think about
I mean,
that.
magnificent culture just being
500,000.
wiped out. You okay?
That's
over
crazy.
there?
Stuff's falling
Yes.
over.
Sounds good. Nice book, by the way. Nice book.
That's
We'll
his
get to
book.
that.
That's his book
Mine.
about,
Yeah,
about
let's
overcoming drug
promote it.
addiction.
It's a bestseller about the opiate epidemic, which
Oh,
we'll
that's
talk
good.
about.
Wow,
after.
that's a great topic because it's so sad to see what's happening. So
Yeah,
bad.
it's crazy.
But, it's a shame because it never would have happened. And it didn't happen during my 4 years. It didn't happen. It wouldn't have happened. I got along very well with Putin. I got along with Zelensky, but it wouldn't have happened. And October 7th would have never happened. And inflation would have never happened. And the withdrawal, the kind of withdrawal.
I mean,
really
these are-
getting
these
out
are
of
big
Afghanistan
statements.
with dignity and strength.
Those are
But
very big
to get
statements.
out the way, I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And I actually think that the way Afghanistan worked, I think that when Putin looked at that, he said, wow, let's go in. And you know who else looked at it? President Xi of China. And he is looking at Taiwan and he's drooling. He's drooling over Taiwan. And so something could happen there. We've lost a lot of respect. They're laughing at us all over the world. And that wasn't happening 4 years ago.
And with you back in office, you think we'll get that respect back?
Yeah, we'll get it back. We'll get it back.
What's your relationship like with Vladimir Putin?
I think very good, but I was tough with him. You know, I ended the pipeline. He built, it's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I got involved. And it was the biggest project ever done in Russia. I mean, you know, this was a pipeline that was going to supply oil and
You
gas
gotta have
to
some
all
balls
over
to
Europe, all over Europe.
stand
Germany
up
in
to
particular.
Putin. That's a
And
scary
I
guy.
said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this to Germany?" I said, "We're defending you under NATO, and you're paying billions of dollars a month to Russia. You mean we're defending you, and you're giving the people we're defending you from? We're giving you the defense, but you're giving them money at massive amounts." Probably the biggest project, you know, most important, one of the most important projects they've ever done. I ended it. It was dead. It was gone. And then this guy comes in and he approves it, but he kills Keystone. You know, the Keystone XL.
Yep.
So it's sad. But Putin said to me, "It's the biggest thing. You ended it. You ended the pipeline." He said, "They all say you and I are friendly, but I'd hate to see you as an enemy." But this was the biggest, you know, this was massive amounts of money and everything.
But that's how
else.
you
But
talk to him
Biden
like
came
that?
in, huh?
You talk to him like that?
Oh, no, I had a very good relationship. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I'm trying to tell people, no, it's a good thing. They've got, I would give you the exact number, but they gave a lot, just under 2,000 nuclear weapons. And we do also. And when you have nuclear weapons, and even
That's
if you don't
scary.
have nuclear weapons, getting along is good, but be the tough one, be the smart one, get along is good. I tell the press all the time, no, the fact that I get along with Kim Jong-un, North Korea.
That's crazy.
President Xi.
That's crazy.
It's all
That
good
is-
stuff
that is
getting along.
crazy.
But nobody ever took money
The
out
fact
of
that
China.
he even
like that.
went
took
there
hundreds of
is
billions of
crazy.
dollars out in the form of tariffs and taxes. No other president took in not 10 cents. And, you know, China built their military because of the United States. The United States was giving them hundreds of billions of dollars a year in excess flow. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But we took out hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and I still got along with President Xi until COVID. That was a breaking point. But no, but he was a guy that I respected. Like he liked me, and I liked him. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. You know, the press says, "Oh, isn't it?" You say, "Yeah, he's a leader. He's a smart guy." They say, "Smart man." They say, "Oh, Trump said he was smart." Yeah, he leads 1.4 billion people. It's a little bit on the smart side. But I got along with him. I got along with Kim Jong-un. That would have been a nuclear war. If Hillary Clinton had gotten in office, we would have been in a nuclear war with North Korea. He was ready for it.
Come on, man.
When I
That's too much of a
was
stretch.
with him, nobody else could meet him. All of a sudden, the dam broke, and we started talking a little bit. We got together, as you know, twice. Got along very well, but we were in no danger from them, and we were in serious danger before I got there. I'm telling you, you would have had a nuclear war if Hillary Clinton got in.
No, that's
I'm
too
so
much
curious
of a
of what this
stretch.
conversation with really powerful world leaders looks like behind closed doors. Like, is it
That's a good
candid,
question.
or do you exercise grace, or you
They're
talk
all-
like boys? Like,
everyone's different. No, but everyone's different. It's like when you're talking to people, when you're doing interviews with people, when you're fighting people, they're all different. You know, you fight them a different way, you talk to them a different way, but everyone's different. But I had very good relationships with everyone. The funny thing is, I got along with the tough ones much better than I got along with the weak ones. You had some real weak ones too. I didn't get along with them as well. It's strange. Must be a personality
It's probably
defect.
a good thing.
Huh?
It's probably a good thing that you get along with the
I get along with the tough
leaders of the
ones.
largest countries.
You know,
Nice
there's
chatting
a
with
very
you.
tough one,
Thank you for
Victor
standing your
Orban.
ground to stream what you want.
And he's
Gonna
the
try to get some Father's Day
Prime
lunch
Minister
session.
of
Happy Father's Day.
Hungary.
Thanks so much for
And
joining me, Shauna. I
he
really
said
appreciate it.
that
Nice,
the
nice
reason the
chatting
world
with
is
you. I
blowing
hope
up
you
is
enjoy the rest
Trump
of your
isn't
day.
president. When Trump was there, everybody respected Trump. He said was afraid of Trump. I don't want to use that term because that's, you know, I don't want to say, oh, they were afraid, like a child would say. But they respected me. But he said everyone listened to Trump. They were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out, and they all listened. And they did listen. And we had no wars. We had no nothing. I defeated ISIS, got rid of the biggest terrorists ever, maybe, or just about ever. But we defeated, think of that, we knocked out ISIS, 100% of the ISIS caliphate, and started no wars. I
100%.
wasn't in any wars. Now, that I don't know how you may feel about that, because you know, you're a warrior, right? Because all fighters, and you're a real fighter, by the way.
It's not good. It's not good. I
Yeah.
don't shy away from conflict. My fiance has a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
You're much more diplomatic than I probably would be.
You know, it's very interesting, though. So Khabib came up to me after the fight the other night. And, you know, you guys would probably say he's the best ever, maybe. And, you know,
He's in the
certainly he
conversation.
probably is, and or very close, right? John Jones, a lot of people
there.
say.
I'd say 1 and 2.
And, you know.
Yeah,
and
I'd agree.
He said to me, oh, I hope you can get in because we have to stop the wars. We have to stop the killing, the killing. He was so smart. He understood it. And I think he's friends or was friends, but I think he is friends with Putin very much.
Yeah.
But he said, we have to stop the killing, and it's true. And I think I'd have that war stopped if I
That's
was
true.
president-elect. Right after the election, if I win, I will get that war stopped. I'll get it stopped fast before I get to office. If it's not stopped before then,
Talking about Russia, Ukraine.
I'm talking about Russia. Ukraine.
Definitely
We'll
should
get
be
it- we'll
stopped,
get it
regardless
stopped.
of who's
So
in
many
power.
people are being killed. Far more people are being killed. And I thought it was great when Khabib came up to me. He says, "We've got to stop all of the killing in the war." He's a very smart guy, very interesting guy. We talked for a while.
On the flip side, or on the other side of the continent, the Gaza
Yeah.
situation has been
Horrible.
big news over the past year or so. The United States has always been, and you were always a staunch ally of
Right.
Israel. Has your sentiment on Netanyahu or on his regime changed at all in light of any of the events of the past 6 months?
No, look, it was a shame that it should have never happened. It would have never happened. Iran was broke when I was president. Nobody was allowed to buy oil. Nobody was allowed to buy anything. They were broke. A Democrat congressman on Deface the Nation, the show Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Deface the Nation, yes, commonly known as Face the Nation, but I don't call it that.
You have a name for
I think
it.
I have a name for everything. I'll end up with a name for you two guys by the time. I think. But it'll be. I
can't wait to hear
No,
mine.
they'll be good names. They'll be good names. But so he was on the show and he said, whether you like Trump or not, Iran was broke during Trump's. They would have made a deal within 1 week, and now they have $250 billion. We would have had a deal done literally in 1 week after the election. And it was ready. They were absolutely, and they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They were broke, stone cold broke. Now they have $250 billion. Biden took off all of the sanctions. He let them go. China went to town. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from these people, you're not doing any business with the United States. They took a pass, no oil, and other countries likewise. And we would have had a deal. It would have been a great deal for everybody. We would have had a deal. Now they have $250 billion. They made it all in 3 years, 3.5 years. They made it
That
all
is
during this Biden term.
crazy.
I mean, he gave him $6 billion for
That is
5 hostages.
crazy.
Right? You saw that recently, a couple of months ago. $6 billion for 5 hostages. He made the swap. The Prince of Terror, they call him. He's the best arms dealer ever, they say. Who knows what that
Oh my
means, but
God, just-
he was a great arms dealer.
Oh
For the
my
basketball
God.
player that wouldn't stand up during the national anthem, she thought that was a good time to tie her sneakers. And
Oh
that was not exactly the greatest trade, but he gave $6 billion on top of everything. $6 billion with a B. And they
Billion
don't know
with a
what they're
B.
doing. And when you do that, you know, when you start paying that kind of money, a lot of other people are going to be missing all of a sudden. They're going to be missing and, hey, let's make a trade. And that's already happening. You just can't do that. I got 58 people out. We never paid any money. 58
Wow.
people, 58 hostages. We never paid money. Because once you pay money, you're going to be doing a lot. In other words, you're going to
That's
keep doing
true.
it.
Once you pay
So you
money,
can't
you're
do
just
that.
going to keep
This
paying
episode is
money.
sponsored by myself. I sponsored it myself. Primex, guys. We just dropped Primex.
I want to ask about money. Money in this country.
Go ahead.
I've had a very fortunate career.
Yeah.
I've made
Yeah, you're
some
freaking
money.
rich as hell.
And-
More money than you ever thought possible.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah, I know the
Absolutely.
kind of money you make because I know when you have a top event or your shows, but these events are doing fantastic.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
you've done is incredible.
Yeah, I'm very blessed, and part of the reason that I believe I'm blessed is because of this country, and
Yeah, yeah.
and I think in a way I'm kind of living like the modern day American dream. You know, I had access to a phone and could start my business and reach the entire world on this device. So
Yeah, it's
my-
crazy
Excuse me,
how
did you guys
rich
start
Logan
like
Paul is.
separately?
Me and Jake?
Yes.
Nah, together.
Oh, you started. So you started together.
together on YouTube.
And did you branch out? You each have your
Yeah,
own thing now?
well, eventually, because I went to college. Jake was still in high school. He ended up dropping out. I finished my first year.
It's an amazing 2 stories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Who makes more money?
It depends on the year. It depends if Jake has
I want to
fights.
ask you a little question.
And it depends on when this sells right here.
Yeah. I think.
Is that your new drink? Oh, that's good. Oh,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
if,
yeah.
If you make it, I like it.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President.
No, it's got to be good. It's got to be. Look, something's propelling him to fight world champions to a draw, right?
Yeah. We actually made this American
that's
Prime
beautiful.
special
Wow.
for this episode. It's a hydration beverage.
It's doing fine, doing well.
We did 1.2 billion last year.
That's
year,
great.
Year 2.
That's fantastic.
But again, I'm blessed to have
Yeah.
even just be able to say that is insane. But my question is, for other young people in this country who are looking to get ahead, because for a lot of them, times are tough right
Yep,
now.
it's very tough.
What would you say to them, kids who want to pursue their own version of the American dream and try to achieve their wildest dreams and make it all come true?
I would say very simply, honestly, vote for Trump.
All
Because
right,
with
come
Biden, you're
on.
never going to do it. This country's
You
going
could
to
have given
hell.
a real answer
Vote
there.
for Trump.
You
We're doing
didn't
great
have to
with
say
youth.
that.
We're doing great with African Americans, with Hispanic Americans through the roof. Both of those groups, with women, with men, and with young people, we're doing very well. But I say vote for Trump. If you don't have the right
Give a
guy in
real
the lead, the
answer.
country's not going to. You know, if the country doesn't do well, it's much harder to do even what you do. Okay, even what you do. So that would be a simple message. I really mean it, actually.
This is the stuff your insurance company doesn't want you to know about. Have you noticed your auto insurance payment?
The same opportunities he's had in America, I've had as well. My road has been a little bit rockier, as we were talking about in my book, The Fifth Vital. I
Dude, you
spent,
got rich because of Logan.
8
Don't
years
even
addicted to
don't even
heroin,
say it.
living on the East Coast, in what I considered, I think a lot of people considered.
So you were addicted.
Correct.
Wow.
I think a lot of people consider it to be the great opiate
Let me
epidemic.
see the book. Can I see the book?
Absolutely.
We're gonna make this sucker a best-selling book.
There's a message. There's a
It's
message
such
for you.
No,
in it
it's
as well.
such an important.
It's actually
Where's
already
my camera?
it's already a
There. Go
best-selling
out and
book.
buy this book. It's great.
That was for you, I believe.
I wrote a message to you in
Good.
there. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
It's-
keep it.
Thank you
But
so much.
it's such an important topic. Yeah, seriously, that's so important.
There's a lot of people that are still.
What's
kind of
up? Did you see
wrapped
that
up in
Glitch
world,
mentioned
and I
you
just
in
wanna
his
ask you
latest
questions.
video?
In
I
2023,
did not.
the DEA seized more than 80 million
Oh, boy.
fentanyl-laced
Some
fake
drama,
pills,
huh?
12,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. There's so many people out there on the streets right now without
I'll watch
access
that
to
next.
resources
I'll do
mental
a,
health, for mental health care.
I'll start another stream after
centers.
this.
What's your plan
Watch
to
it.
continue to stem the flow of fentanyl into the country, as well as help the people who have already fallen victim to the opiate epidemic?
So when I took over, it was drug infested. When I ran in 2016, I ran on the border. And I fixed the border, and I couldn't even use it in 2020 in the campaign, even though I got millions of more votes than I got the first time. I couldn't talk about the border because I fixed it. And I'd say to my people, I want to talk about the border. I was proud of the job we did. We had it fixed. It was really in good shape. And drugs were at the lowest point in years. And, not only people, drugs, human trafficking, which is such a horrible thing. You think of it as like an ancient kind of a crime, and it's bigger now than ever before because of the internet. The
So
internet
he
has
didn't
made a lot of these
say
things much
anything
bigger
bad
than
about
they
me then.
have ever been. When you think of
Or
human
maybe he
trafficking,
made, like,
mostly in
one
women, by
bad
the way.
comment about me.
People don't know that. Mostly in women, where they put them in trunks of cars, they have compartments. It's so horrible. And I had it down to to the lowest level, just about, I guess, in recorded times. So what you have to do is you have to be very tough on that. We had a deal on the fentanyl is pouring through. I bought millions of dollars worth of equipment. Believe it or not, they call it sniffing equipment, but believe it or not, the best thing to find it, you can
Sniff
spend
it,
millions of
believe it or
dollars on
not.
equipment and
Believe it
machinery
or
to
not.
find drugs coming through, sort
He
of
always does this with his
finds
hands.
it. The best thing is a German Shepherd born in a city. Do you know that?
No way.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
They go right to it. It's not even, there is no machine. You spend $2.5
I think it's funny that every
million for
president has like a
machinery.
hand gesture.
And the dog
I think Obama had
is
the
much better.
the thumb.
And we literally
Thumb
bred
over
those
the,
dogs. It's just very
da- da-
specific
da-
type of
da-
German Shepherd from a certain part of the world. It's the most incredible thing. We worked very, very hard on that. I was with President Xi. It comes from China and it comes in through the southern. So Mexico's it comes through the southern border. And I was with President Xi, and I told you we got along great. You know, the COVID was a step too far as I
It's
was
so
concerned,
weird
but
to
we
think
got along
about
great.
Trump being
And
friends
I
with
said, "Do you have a
President
drug problem?" He
Xi.
said, "No, they give the death penalty in
so
China. If
ridiculous.
you sell drugs." I said, "I'd like you to give the death penalty to people that are making fentanyl and sending it over to our country."
Yeah,
and he
this
was
is
gonna do
Trump's
that.
hand gestures.
And then we had the election result. And of course, Biden never picked
Like,
up
what
that
is that?
conversation.
Why
I
is he
told them
doing
about
that?
it.
I don't understand.
But he was going to give the death penalty.
It's
If he did
hilarious.
that,
I
we would
know.
have had this
That's what I was saying about
literally
watching this. Like,
stopped,
this
almost
isn't
stopped.
about politics for me.
But
This
we
is
have to
this
be
is
very,
about
very strong at the
pure
border. This is
entertainment.
really- this
watching
is a plague
Mike
like-
and Logan interview
And you know the
Trump.
numbers, they'd say
I just think it's
70,000,
funny.
80,000. I think it's probably 250 or 300,000. This is like a war. There's rarely a war. I mean, how many wars are we losing? 300,000 people a year. And everybody knows a family.
It's crazy.
know
I don't even think people think about
many
that.
families where their children die and they're not even addicted. They take a pill that's unrelated, and it had
Yeah,
so it's got a little
fentanyl
bit of
is
fentanyl.
just-
They say you can take the head of a needle, and you just put a piece on it, and that's enough to kill like 10 people.
Yeah, that is really
It
bad.
is a really
He's true.
horrible
He's right
thing.
on that.
And I would have had China giving the maximum penalty. They would not have been sending it. And I had a deal worked out with President Xi, but of course Biden didn't follow up, just like he didn't follow up on the Abraham Accords, which would have been a great thing to do. So we have to be very tough on the border, and that includes drugs as well as people.
Yeah.
As well as
The drug
people not
epidemic
coming
is
in from
terrible
jails
in
and
the United
prisons
States.
and mental
No matter who's
institutions,
in
which is
presidency, it's
which
gotta
is
be
happening
handled.
now at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's crazy. How can it be good? It's so bad. And I guess
It's
they're
so
either
bad.
stupid, which they're not. They hate our country, or they want to get these people for votes. A lot of people think that's the thing. They want to get them for votes. But the destruction, the damage that Biden's done to our country by having 16, 17 million people already in, it's much more than they say. It's probably 17. It could be even higher than that in our country. And these are not people that are going to make America great again. These are people that have a lot of issues. And we're going to have a lot of issues as long as they're here. And we're going to get them out. We have to get them out.
Mr. President, I got the 10-minute warning from the team,
Oh.
which is now 8-minute.
Let's let him go a little longer. It's fine. I like it. Is that okay? Yeah, let him go a little bit longer, okay? Look at these
At
two guys.
33:15.
And then it'll turn out to be a
Okay.
lousy show. And I'll
That's
say,
a
"You
long
were right,
video,
Jason."
huh? I gotta check it out.
So go for another 20 minutes. Is that all right? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Jason.
It seems to be a
Wait,
nice
did
flow.
what he said about me, was it bad?
you did reality.
Is that,
I'll be
was
in
it a
trouble
bad
with my
thing?
People like Biden says, "Oh, I don't have that problem." But well, first of all, he would never. He couldn't do this interview. If you asked him questions like this,
No, we were talking about that. We were like,
Oh, he
we,
wouldn't
we
do
would,
Well, we'd like to extend the invite to Joe Biden if he'd like to come
You
on
should
this
definitely do
podcast.
that.
Yeah, I think you
People
should.
need to,
You know what
interviewers
chance you have
should
of getting
interview
one?
both
I'd
people,
say
not
less
just one
than
party.
1%.
Everyone's got to
Okay?
see
You did that
the
at the beginning.
points of
I
both
actually watched that.
parties here, not just
Okay,
one side.
see how long it lasts.
That's the
So
problem in
there-
the United
there are
States right
two
now. Everyone's
questions
so
I have to
so
ask.
Go ahead.
The first one's kinda
divided.
fun.
You got to be able to watch both
Aliens.
sides. Listen
I
to
want to
both
talk to you about
sides
aliens.
with an open mind.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The
Oh, here we go.
disclosure we've seen
All
in
right.
Congress recently. It's
I wanna hear this.
It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because something's going. There's something happening. There
Yeah,
are
there is
unidentified
definitely something
aerial
happening.
phenomena in
Big
the sky.
believer
We
in
don't
that.
know what they are. Do you?
Oh,
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him, and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
a little fatter.
but these are perfect people, and they're not
crazy.
conspiratorial. They're not crazy.
how I
And
take
they tell me
criticism.
stories that they've
I'm
seen
currently
things that
streaming a
You wouldn't
Trump
believe.
interview.
These are not people that you would say.
I mean,
he
that
would.
could
that's
probably
okay.
tell you a little something about how I take
said
it.
Was your
Who
phone
is it?
silent?
That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots, like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller. Okay? Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say this.
I'm
really
guessing
strange
what he
things that they
said
see flying
is
around
that
out there. And you know,
I
you
shouldn't
go
be
to
talking
Nevada
about other people's
and you look at that little
business
section
and that like
of where
I was
where
out of
they go
line or
to look
something,
at,
or
the
that I'm
aliens, where they think all the
lame or
aliens
something
are
like
landing.
that. I don't
And,
care.
You know, it's one of I think it's
He can say
maybe
whatever
the
he
number
wants
one
about me.
tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roswell.
Again, I don't.
It's
I don't. I actually want to listen to this UFO part. So I don't care what people say about me. I'm a firm believer, and I actually responded to his chat in his message when he commented on the video, being like, "Don't take away my message," blah blah blah. And I told him I would never take away the message. He's allowed to have whatever message he wants in there, and that he can openly say his opinion. This is America with freedom of speech. I'm not going to just like mute somebody. And I told him, I said, you're welcome to have your opinion the same as me. I'm allowed to have my opinion, and that's fine. Like, we don't have to agree on things, but like, that's as far as where I think it needs to go. The freedom of speech in the Constitution says that like, you're allowed to have freedom of speech until acted upon with violence, right? So violence being, you know, physical violence and like trying to like threaten somebody and their life and stuff like that. So as long as you don't go that extra step where you're like threatening somebody or giving death threats and stuff like that, it's completely fine with me for you to have an opinion. I don't care. Have your opinion. I think that as human beings and as Americans, we all need to be able to have an open conversation about anything and about everything. Whatever you say should be out in the open if you want it to be, and you should be able to be heard with an open mind without people just blatantly calling you bad names for no reason, without having any kind of educational stance or fact basis behind what they're saying. It's just ridiculous. You know, America right now, basically people are so misinformed about so many things, and that's because they're so afraid to actually, like what I'm watching right now, a lot of people wouldn't even watch it just because of the man that's behind it, either Trump or Logan. There's both of them have haters, and some people wouldn't watch it because these people are on it. I think that's bullshit. I think you should be able to hear people out and have your own opinions and not be, you know, threatened or called some kind of name for no reason. Why can't we just have conversations?
The number one, it's the lines of people waiting. You have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access, and I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going 4 times
there's definitely
faster
something
than my
going on.
beautiful
There's definitely
top-of-the-line
UFOs and
airplane
aliens.
that goes, you know,
I don't think
I
they're
bought
from
out
outer
the
space. I think
too.
they live on
Right.
Earth.
These
but-
things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there, and you know
Yes.
it makes sense that there
I
could
agree.
be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. You know, I just for some reason it's not my thing, but a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
Yes.
What? And you
I know
have,
there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through
Oh,
the border.
dude,
We have
come
plenty
on,
of them.
man. Well, you
Those are
gotta
the ones I
circle
know. When
back. You
say
can't just
aliens, I
answer
say,
the, like,
are they
stay on
illegal
topic.
aliens? These might be illegal, but we don't want to test them.
Come on.
Because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not going to test them. So it's an interesting question.
Yeah, for sure.
is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state.
You don't even
and
know.
you
He
do
has
have the
no
deep
clue.
state.
They didn't tell him
And
anything.
certainly they could, but I don't think
They would
they're the
never
subject.
tell him
I was
anything.
interested in it because I've been asked so many times, and I talked to people that have said that they've, you know, it was a sighting, and it's very believable. It's very possible
believable.
that there is something.
I wish
And
I could
why
do a
wouldn't
Trump
there be?
impression.
You know, you
Oh
take
my
a look at
God.
the universe
I'd do it all
and
the
you
time.
see all of the different planets, and you see this. You know, look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's, you know, 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be somebody? So it's certainly believable to me.
The thought of it freaks me out. It's weird to think that we potentially are only the source of life in like an infinite, ever expanding universe. But technology.
But they'd never be able to take you in a fight.
No chance.
I'll put it.
No chance.
Dude,
Send me
come
in.
on.
Send me in, my brother.
Right, like
That's a good
interdimensional
And then he'll
beings
come back.
couldn't defeat Logan.
we have
You-
about that
you-
too.
the two of you will come back and say hello to him. By the way,
I will.
He's a
I
great
will.
guy.
Maybe Elon could get you guys there. You a fan of Elon
would-
Musk?
I think
I'm a
Elon
fan
might
of
be good
Elon
for this
Musk.
question. He's a
100%.
terrific. I looked at
He's an awesome guy.
the ship that went up, the spaceship, and I never saw this before. I saw this is like 2 years ago. I see the motors coming down, the engines coming down, no wings, no anything, and then I say, what is going on?
Yeah.
And nobody ever saw that before. And if you didn't have him, you probably wouldn't be seeing it. And I called him. I said, "What's that?" He says, "Well, we want to be able to reuse the engines." I said,
you ever
"They don't
see
have
the
wings. They
Seinfeld
don't have
Trump
anything,
video?
and they're
It's
landing on a
hilarious. It's called
platform in the middle of the
Trump
ocean."
I
said,
think
"How cool
so.
is that?"
That's an old
I
one
I
though,
thought
right?
I saw it all.
I,
but that was.
I'm trying to remember what
No,
it
he's
is.
a very,
I gotta watch
he's a
it again at some
spectacular
point.
guy.
I think I
Well,
have.
between
Seinfeld is
PayPal,
amazing.
Neuralink, Starlink, Tesla,
Yeah.
SpaceX.
And other things.
Yeah, he's probably
A-
one of the greatest minds of
AI,
our generation.
AI, very
Yeah,
good.
it-
He's-
100%
That's
is
what I
one of the
wanted to
greatest
ask
minds
about.
of all time.
It was the second question because technology is improving at a
That guy could
rapid
spit on a
pace,
stick
at
and
pace
sell
humanity's
5
never seen
billion
before. And the most
copies of it.
recent development in technology that is alarming but also cool is artificial intelligence, AI.
Yeah.
AI is terrifying.
I think it's going to be eventually to a point where we're not able to tell what's real and what's fake.
We're literally
The era of
creating
truth, I believe,
Terminator
is probably
right
slowly,
now, and
unfortunately,
no
coming to
one
an end. It
cares.
should come with receipts.
No one cares.
What do you
Oh,
think
it's a
the government's
series? I
role
gotta check it out.
in enabling, protecting, or governing AI
Trump
should be
field. I
in
gotta check it
general?
out.
Should this superpower?
So I probably
become
haven't
what
seen
we
it if it's a
believe it probably
series.
will be.
Well, it is a superpower, and you want to be right at the beginning of it, but it is very disconcerting. I said, you used the word alarming. It is alarming when I saw a picture of me promoting a product, and I could.
They do
not
that with
tell-
Joe
the
Rogan
voice
all the
was
time.
Perfect. The
They'll deep
lips
fake Joe
moved
Rogan
perfectly
and
with
sell
every
tons of
word.
products
The
on
way-
TikTok.
You couldn't, if you were
It's
a
crazy.
lip reader,
And
you'd
it
say
looks and
it's
sounds just
absolutely
like him.
perfect.
Absolutely nuts.
And that's scary. In particular, in one way, if you're the president of the United States and you announce that 13 missiles have been sent to, let's not use the name of a country, we have just sent 13 nuclear missiles heading to somewhere, and they will hit their targets in 12 minutes and 59 seconds. And you're that country, and there's no way of detecting. I asked Elon, is there any way that, like Russia or China, can say that that's not really President Trump? He said there is no way.
They'd have to rely on secondary first
have to-
alert.
No, they have to
systems.
rely on a code that if you don't have a certain code, who the hell's going to check? You got like 12 minutes. And let's check the code. Gee, how's everything doing? So what do they do when
That
they
is
see
scary.
this, right? They have maybe a counterattack. It's so dangerous in that way. Okay. In another way, it's so incredible that what they do is so incredible. I've seen it. I just got back from San Francisco. I met with incredible people in San Francisco, and we talked about this. This subject is hot on their plates, the super geniuses.
Yep.
And they gave me $12 million for the campaign, which, 4 years ago they probably wouldn't have. We had thousands of people in the streets. You saw it. It just happened this last weekend.
Yep.
I met with incredible people, actually. And this is what everyone's talking about with all of the technology. These are the real technology people. They're talking about AI. And they showed me things, but I've seen things that are so, you wouldn't even think it's possible. But in terms of copycat, now, to a lesser extent, they can make a commercial. I saw this.
Yeah.
They made a commercial, me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I
Yeah,
make
that's
that
what I'm talking about. What they did with Joe
Did I
Rogan.
forget that I made that commercial? It is so
Freaking scary.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it brings with it difficulty, but
And it's getting
we have to
scarier
be at
every
the
day.
forefront.
They're
gonna
improving
happen.
it every day.
And if it's
like
gonna
AI
happen, we
is
have to take
improving
the lead over
itself.
China.
That's
China's the primary
Terminator. That's
threat in
literally
terms of
Terminator,
that.
where AI
And
literally
what they need
improves
more than
itself
anything
and
else is
updates
electricity.
itself. That's
They have to have
and we're still doing it
electricity.
for whatever
Massive
reason. It's
amounts
crazy.
of electricity. I don't know if you know that. In order to do these essentially it's a plant. And the electricity needs are greater than anything we've ever needed before to do AI at the highest
Senator Ted Cruz has a new book out about taking America back from the woke Marxists.
level. And China will produce it because they'll do whatever you have to do, whereas we have environmental impact people, and we have a lot of people trying to hold us back. But massive amounts of electricity are needed in order to do AI. And we're going to have to generate a whole different level of energy. And we can do it, and I think we should do it, but we have to be very careful with it, right? We have to watch it. But it's, the words you use were exactly right. It's the words a lot of smart people are using. There are those people that say it takes over the human race. It's really powerful stuff.
Yeah,
AI.
scary.
So let's see how it all works out. But I think as long as it's there,
How it plays out.
And that's just AI. What about when it becomes SI or super intelligence?
Yeah.
then they'll have super
Yeah.
AI, right?
Then-
super
then-
duper AI.
then you got iRobot
but
with Will Smith.
What it does is so crazy.
It's amazing. It's
crazy.
Now it can also be really used for good. I mean, things can happen. I had a speech.
There is
rewritten
good
by AI
good
out
things
there.
about AI,
One of the
with,
top
like with
people.
music, like you're saying.
He
But
said, "Oh, you're going to make a speech.
you can't
Yeah."
let it
He
get
goes,
out of
click,
control,
click,
and
click.
I think we're not regulating it enough right now.
15 seconds later, he shows me my speech
That's crazy.
written
That's crazy.
so beautifully. I said, "I'm going to use this sucker. I'm going to use. I've never seen anything like it."
What'd you say to your speechwriter after that?
You're fired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Iowa people
You're
is,
fired,
is
Vince.
extremely creepy, man.
No.
Extremely.
This was
They
so
are
crazy.
creating
It
these
took
AI
it,
girls
and
on
it
like
made it
TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and like
unbelievable.
they look real, and they're
And-
making millions of dollars doing it. It's absolutely nuts.
It's and so fast. You just say, "I'm writing a speech about these two young, beautiful men that are great fighters, and sort of great at a lot of things, and tell me about them and say some nice things." And period. And then that comes out. Logan, in particular, is a great champion. Jake is also good. See, I'm doing that only because you happen to.
I appreciate
No,
that.
but no, it comes out.
Nah,
with the
Jake's
most
better than
beautiful
Logan. Jake would
writing.
kick Logan's ass.
So, one industry I think that will be gone are these wonderful speechwriters. I've never seen anything like it, and so quickly.
Yeah,
a matter of
Writing is
going to
be obsolete
it's
in a
done.
couple years. It's
a little
all
bit
going to be
scary.
generated.
Well, as you said, let's see how this plays out. I did get the wrap it up because I do believe your team and I want to shoot a TikTok with you.
Oh, that's good. I'm on TikTok
We
now.
saw.
It
your
was a
first
funny
video.
TikTok.
120 million views. It blew up.
We have a lot of views. I don't know how many, but it was a lot. We did it.
120?
We did it with Dana,
You went viral.
and we were sort of getting ready to walk into the arena, and there was a lot of crowd, and there wasn't a negative voice in the whole house. It was pretty.
Yeah,
amazing.
it was.
do it
It
again.
was
Oh,
crazy
I wanna
when he
respect
walked
the time.
into the
I'd like
UFC
to
arena.
grab a couple photos, shoot this TikTok.
Absolutely.
120 million views on the way.
Absolutely.
But thank you for joining us on Impulsive, Mr. President.
It's an honor to be with you. You guys are great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
much.
we try.
And good luck with your book over here. That's important stuff.
Thank you so
An
much.
incredible job you did to get out of it, right?
If you're ever bored on a plane to Tuscaloosa or something, you want to give it a
Oh,
read.
I'm going to be reading it. I think it's such an important subject. One of the most important subjects, actually. It's great that you did it.
Thank you.
All right. So, just to end my thoughts here is that again, I'm not promoting any side here. I'm just literally I watched that for pure entertainment. I think Logan Paul and his buddy Mike over here, Jake Paul, I even think Trump, they're all entertaining people. It's something entertaining to watch. I also think it's good for people to be, up to date with what's happening with these people. Not necessarily Logan and Mike. You don't have to be updated with him, but being updated with both Trump and both Biden. They're running for the presidency, and it's coming in November. And the fact that some people don't want to think about it at all, that to me is more crazy than watching something that Trump says, watching something that Biden says, keeping updated and like having the information on what their policies are, what they're trying to do is so important. And to just pretend it's not happening, or to say like, oh, I can't do it. Like, you're a this, you're a that, you're a bad person. It's childish. I honestly think it's childish. I think that everyone should be up to date on everything that they're talking about, and the fact that people aren't is crazy to me. Hey, Sardashian, what's up, man? How you doing? Listen, guys, I'm gonna start up another stream in a second. I'm gonna take off the the picture of Trump and Logan on it because I have a feeling people aren't gonna join because of it. I don't agree with that sentiment that you're not gonna join because you see a picture of Trump or Logan, but that is how it is. So I'm gonna start up another one in like 10 minutes. Where I'm going to be like watching GigTubers or something like that, or just chatting. So thank you for popping in, the few people that did. I'm going to start up another one that's more friendly to everybody. So if you guys want to join on that one in a little bit, then I'll talk to you there. It's going to be more talking and less watching for whoever wants to like hang out and talk. So thank you so much.